Hello, everyone. This is your silver consultant, Sarabi Hankins, and today we're going to go over how you can use Streak to manage your future partners. So basically, Streak is a CRM system where you can really track the people that you're inviting to the informational meetings. And then you can also use it as a way to kind of understand and know when you should start utilizing the follow-up system as well. So if you have a Gmail account, you can definitely download Streak, go to streak.com. On here, it's going to say add to your extension. So you do have to be logged into your Gmail account to actually log in and add the extension on there. And then once you do, it's going to say installed, go to Gmail. Now, once you go to your Gmail, it's going to give you a list of everything that's going to be on the side there. It automatically applies to your Gmail account. And what you can do from there is automatically start tracking and managing your future partners. So like you see here, it already says installed because I already installed mine. But basically, it gives you a nice amount of boxes that you can use to kind of track information by having, contact information, and then track when you emailed out, your emails to the future partners, as well as how long ago you did email them or follow up with them. Now, Streak is free for Gmail. There is a pro version that if you want to, you can sign up for and pay for. However, it's not required because they do give you 1,000 free boxes that you can use. And once you're out of room for those boxes, if you get to that point, then you can export your names into a Google Doc or a Google Sheets, and then, empty out the boxes so that way you can reuse them. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my team Gmail. This is something brand new that I started. And already I have like a pipeline system set up. It's February, so I have it like Valentine's Day themed, but you can definitely personalize this to however your liking is. So if you want to add leads on there, this is basically what the pipeline system looks like. Now, you will have to go to this directly through Gmail. So I was already clicked on there, but on this left side here, where it has this menu, if you scroll down, it's going to give you the option that says Streak Pipelines, and then that's where you're going to find and create your own pipeline system. So even on the top here, I only have the ones that have 0 on there right now because I cannot actually show people's information, but you can directly see how many people are in each one. Like I said, this is a very new account I'm using, so I'm still converting a lot of things over. But once I do, it's going to give me a list of everything that's going to be on here, as well as a total amount. Now, we are going to go ahead and create one here. So under Streak Pipelines, there is a plus sign where you can directly create your own pipeline system. They have a bunch of templates that are already pre-made for you, so you can really customize whichever one looks best for you, and then go from there, or just use the one that they have. It's really up to your decision. I like to start from the one that's hiring because we are, mentors. So we are, sending these prospective and future partners information. And I feel like, me personally, this is a nice stage to kind of operate from, to change up how we're doing. So I'm going to create that one. And you can choose if you share a Gmail with somebody, like this is my team email. So maybe down the line, when I have other, future partners that are possibly mentors as well, that can be something where I can share with the entire team that we can manage. Or if you would just want to stick to yourself, you can do it for private as well. So it does give you that option. I'm going to go ahead and create that pipeline. And once it's loading, it's going to give me its generic things. It's going to already have the names and stuff on there. So as you can see at the top here, it already has the color coordinated, and it has that list here. And then right here on the side, this is where you can export those spreadsheets. So that way, once you get to that point where you max out on your boxes, you can directly import the data into Google Sheets, and it'll send it straight there for you. You don't have to worry about copy and pasting. It'll just send it straight there. So very, very useful feature there. So what we're going to do now is customize this to what I actually need. So how we're going to do this is right here on one of the stages, I'm going to click on this little small arrow, and then I'm going to go to manage stage. What that's going to do is pull up this whole list of everything that's on the pipeline to where I can actually customize this to what I need. So let's say I'm going to do leads on one. I'll do sent invitation. Now your list is going to look different. Maybe you have stuff on there that I may not think of to have on mine, but that's the beauty of this. You can customize it to however you want. And if there's something that you forget, or later on down the line, there's something you feel like you need to add on there, you can always add a stage anytime. So let's say let's scheduled. Maybe you want to put no shows on there. Maybe some left earlies. And these are just like loose examples. Again, like I said, I add pipelines as I need them. So I have the basics on there. And then if something that I'm noticing is a trend that I might need, I add the stage here. So you can click add stage, and maybe you want to add like a sent link one or something like that. So I'll do this part. You can add a stage here. And then from there, you can actually change the color at the top here. So this little color bar will let you customize to whatever colors you want. This is a fan favorite. I really like this one. I think it's really nice. So I'm going to just click that one for demonstration purposes. And then boom, it customizes it for you. Now that you have your pipeline system on how you want people to filter through the information, now it's time to actually add, the data that you're going to be using to collect information with. So on this plus sign right here on the circle right side, you're going to click on this and hit add box. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you all the data that you need in order to kind of keep track of your future partners. So stage, that's one of the ones that doesn't actually go away, and it's not super, super important. So what I personally do is I put that at the end. So you just click on it. When you see the hand, you can hold it down and then drag it towards the end, because like I said, you cannot actually delete that one. So that's not something that I kind of want to see on the forefront. Now, as you can see here as well, it already has things on here that you may or may not necessarily need. If you see there's stars in front of that, those are ones that you can't, you can't delete it. I just recommend not deleting it, because those are ones where it keeps track of those information for you. So for example, if you send out an email, it's going to tell you how many days, or I'm sorry, this one, it'll tell you what date you sent your last email. And then it'll also keep track of, the last email from them. So when they responded back to you on that actual thread, this one thread count, how many times you guys emailed back and forth, how many days in the stage you are. So that's important to know, so you know when to follow up. For example, if you choose to follow up 72 hours, if it's in 3 days in the stage, then it's time to follow up with that person versus someone who has only been in there for 1 day, right? So you can really pick and choose when you want to send those emails out. So very, very useful features, the ones that have the stars in front of it. But there's also ones that you don't necessarily need. So like this one, I'm gonna right click on there, and the same thing, if it brings down like a drop down menu, you're gonna hit remove this column. So that's just gonna take it off for you. And you do that for all the ones that you don't need. Even if it says delete this data, just go ahead, delete it. Because there's nothing in here right now, right? This is a brand new pipeline, so you don't have to worry about any kind of the data getting lost. Now, this one says start date. For future partners, this may not necessarily be super important, but maybe you have a pipeline system for your actual partners, like your current partners. So maybe you want to keep track of their start date. That's something to consider. It's up to you how you want to do it, but that is an option for you. But I'm going to go ahead and delete this for this one, because we are doing future partners for this part. Now, I personally also like to keep source on here, because it gives you a good idea of which job boards and where you're posting which works for you, because you're going to see and you're going to notice when you're getting more of the interesteds from like a certain job board, that's going to be good data to have, because then you're going to be using that more often, right? So I personally keep that, but it's up to you how you want to set up your contact and data. So for these ones, I'm going to go ahead and keep deleting until I get to the end here. So notes assigned to, okay, so these are going to be different. Assigned to, I don't necessarily need that, but again, that's a good one to have for your current partners. All right, so I have the ones that I don't need. Now it's time to add ones that I do need. So for contact information, two things are important. You need a phone number and you need an email address. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on name. Then I'm gonna right click again. So the same feature that said delete this column, I'm gonna insert a new column. And it's gonna give you options on what you can do. So no, I'm not gonna do that one. I'm gonna do free form. And then what I'm gonna do is just type in phone number. So that way I can keep track of that. I'm gonna do rename anyways. And then same thing again, insert new column, free form. And then this one, I'm going to call that one email address. That way I have their contact information, and then I'm going to move this source actually right next to this. So I know I have their contact information, and then I know what source they're using for the job boards here. So I have those 4 things in the forefront. Okay. So now it's time to actually add someone to one of these boxes. So you just click on the box here. I'm going to say this is Elmo. Put some data in there. Now, once you get to the source one, this is where it kind of gets really cool. You can actually have drop down options for source. So like I said, if you're using multiple job boards, this is really important to kind of keep track of which ones are working for you and which ones aren't. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on this. It's going to bring me this little tab here. So type to create a new option. You're going to go to manage options here. And then we're going to hit add options. So let's say you use LinkedIn for one. Let's say you also use Indeed. Maybe you do ZipRecruiter. Or maybe you use Facebook, right? So these are just loose examples of like job boards I could think of off of the top of my head, and you hit save. Okay. So when I click on this, I can double click and that drop down menu is going to show for me. So all I have to do is pick from here. I don't have to type all of that in each time. So very, very useful feature. We're going to say this was LinkedIn. And then the rest of this is automatically tracked. So as you can see here, these numbers popped up. There's no email thread yet. And this is my first day adding it. So it's 0 days in the stage. Okay. So, you know, when you're going through here, it already has a number on there. You can directly go into the actual person, and it's going to give you an idea of where you can move them in their stages. So if I click this drop down menu, I can move them to no show, and it's going to go down for me. You can move them to, maybe you want to move them back. You can always move them back and forth however you need to. So you can really keep track of where people are going and like how often, pretty much. Now, let's say that there is a certain group, like it's time for their follow-up or something. You can actually send out customizable emails to each person that's under this list that's highlighted. Now, what it's going to do is it's not going to send them like a bulk email where they're going to see everybody that's in the email. Is going to send it to them individually, and it's going to actually personalize their name for it. It's already pre-written, and you don't have to really retype anything. And then it also gives you an option to schedule it out too. So let's say somebody hasn't responded to you at a certain amount of time. You can tell it to pretty much schedule your emails out ahead of time. So I'm going to have this already clicked out here. What you're going to do is hit this little paper airplane. That's what's called a mail merge. Once you click on it, it's going to give you an option of a new mail one or existing one. As you can see, I already have some pre-made ones here. But let's go to this testing one. Okay, so I'm going to click on this one. And what that does is oops. Sorry, I already double clicked off of that. So what it does is it's going to tell you a list of all the participants and the recipients here. So right now I only have one, but if there's more, it's going to tell you more. You can type in what message you want, and then you can add a variable to it as well. So right here, as you can see, I have the name added to it. So that way, anytime I send this message out, it's going to say, hello, whoever the first person, whatever name I have in the name section. And then it's going to send this out automatically. Now, you can add people, you can see what the messages are, and then you can also add follow-ups too. So if there's a certain time frame that if they don't read it or if they don't respond back, it's going to automatically send a follow-up email to them. So let's go ahead and create a brand new one so you know how to do that. Clicking on this airplane, we're going to do new mail merge. Subject is test 2. It has the recipient already on there. So I always started with a hello, put a space in there, and then jumbled up mess. And then this is just like an example, right? So I'm going to click in between the hello and the comma. And then right here is where I'm going to add that variable. So it's going to give me a menu of what I can choose from. You can do a given name or a family name. Those are mainly from the contact field. So if you don't have them in your email contacts, then it's not going to actually have that for you. What I normally do is just go from the name of the box that I already have them in. So I don't have to worry about adding them into my contact list. So you add the variable, and then you can send the mail merge right then and there, or you can schedule it later. So you can choose up to the date and the time of when you want that to go out, as well as a follow-up message that you want to follow up with. So it'll bring you a brand new one. You can, pretty much have it typed up and then decide when you want to actually have that sent out. Okay. So very, very useful feature. A lot of it is automated. And then whenever something is going down, it'll tell you how many people actually opened up the email and how many people responded back. So if you go down here under mail merges, it'll give you the analytics of everything. So right now I have these ones active because I have some that are due to be scheduled out. And then once everything that's been sent out has been emailed, it's going to say finished here. But that doesn't mean that you can't send it out to somebody. You can still use it again and it's going to become active again. So that's the beauty of it. There's no cap to how many people you can add on to it. It'll just, build up and give you the analytics like this one. This is how many people viewed it. This is how many I sent it to, and vice versa. Okay. And if you need to change anything too, you can always click on the actual mail merge and then alter it if you need be. So that is pretty much everything with Streak that I wanted to share with you all. Like I said, it's a very useful feature to help you stay organized, and honestly, the easiest way to help you track your future partners. Let me know how you guys are doing with this. Again, this is a free version. You do have to have a Gmail in order to really use the CRM, but I already know you guys are going to do amazing with it. Again, my name is Sarabi. You guys have a wonderful day.